Welcome to the Rooster Teeth Drunk Tank Podcast. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth Drunk Tank Podcast. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth Drunk Tank Podcast.
I wonder what you could be listening to. It's the Rooster Teeth Podcast.
Yeah, that was a highly varied set of lyrics in that song.
Just so you know, he wanted the person who submitted that song wanted us to know that is an acoustic bass.
Oh, that's
So,
important to know.
You've learned today
bass.
that's an acoustic bass. I forget what the guy's name was. Something Hatchet. I remember thinking it was a very violent name.
Would it be rude for me to say that I would like a teeth count on that guy? I'm guessing he's.
Oh, jeez.
no, that is surely
pretty
incredibly racist.
Why would that be
Is that the
racist?
most racist start to a podcast yet?
No.
Probably not. How is that possibly racist? What's racist?
Well,
about
maybe
that?
it's more stereotypical than racist.
Stereotypical, I'll
Yeah.
go with. I'll give you that.
Good morning, everyone.
You can make fun of white people all day. I'm assuming that guy's white. You can make fun of white people all day. I don't get to play the racist card ever, so that means I get to make fun of white people as well.
Right.
I get to do that.
Well,
Yeah.
You can't take that away from me, Gavin.
You're white. You can make fun of your own people, right?
That's the way it works, right?
And
Well, we're
isn't
off
it-
to kind of a borderline awful start here.
Isn't it also that you can make fun of people who you're married to as well? Their race.
I don't know.
Do you think there's like a handbook somewhere?
I suddenly want to no longer want to talk about
I think I'm going to start referring to all my white friends as honkies.
Yeah.
Like my honkies.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to take it back. Can
I
I
think
do
it's
that?
ridiculous when people start a sentence with "I'm not trying to be racist, but."
Well,
Oh, that's like-
whatever they think is-
whenever someone starts a sentence with "I'm not trying to blank," but they're totally
Yeah,
that.
like when someone says "no offense" and then they say the most offensive thing possible to you that really offends you.
yeah, it's like a okay, I'm gonna say something fucked up, but you can't get mad at me.
Yeah.
That and the other thing I hate is, can I ask you a question?
People
It's like
say that
just
a lot.
fucking ask the question. God
People
damn
say
it!
that all the time. It's
Oh,
like,
I bet I do that all
hey,
the time
let
too.
me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question?
You know, the worst thing is when they send you an email or on Xbox Live, they send you a message that says, "Hey, will you write me back? I just need to ask you something." And it's like, I just read your thing. Why didn't you ask me the question?
I'm just saying is worse. I can't stand it. Someone just adds at the end of what they say. I'm just saying. Yeah. Like, what is that adding? Like, what are you trying to communicate by saying that?
Oh, saying. I get it.
I like to think that everything that comes out of my mouth like hits the purpose of what I'm. Even that didn't hit the purpose.
No, but I feel you, my honky.
What did you say yesterday? We were walking back from the annex, and Gavin and I were talking, and he said something, and I looked at him and I said, I just want to live in your head for a day. I just want to know what that thought process is going on in there.
Do you want to know something really scary?
So,
You may not realize it, but you quoted Red versus Blue when you said that. That's a Red versus Blue line. The
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Church says the caboose. Man, I just want to live in your head for like 5 minutes.
what did you say?
We were on the way back and you were complaining that it was cold in there. And I was saying that if you put a load of Aborigines in an air-conditioned room, they'll all die. Or like get really sick. 'Cause they're not used to like, the super cooling.
Wait. Let's go back. So if you take Aborigines, I'm assuming natives from Australia?
Yeah.
Is what you mean? Okay.
Who are used to incredible heat.
Incredible heat.
You put them in an air-conditioned room, their body just, doesn't react very well at all.
What would happen?
They get pneumonia or something.
Brr, it's 78 degrees in here.
Immediately develop pneumonia and die. Like, how long would this take? Would you have to leave them in there for like 2 weeks?
I don't know. It's not like an oven. It's not like you pre-cool the room and then put them in. I don't know. Dude, this morning was awesome. I was probably in the building about 20 seconds before the podcast started.
That's a good way to go.
Yeah, just walked straight in. Everything was set up and I just sat down. Here's the podcast. It was great.
Yeah, it must be amazing.
Well, Gavin, it wasn't officially a podcast until you showed up.
Thank you very much.
Wait, do we have to introduce ourselves or anything?
Sure.
Yes.
It's been about 4 minutes.
Go ahead.
You,
I am Gavin.
Brendan.
Gus.
And this is Bernie Burns.
I don't think I've been on a podcast with Brandon.
I was about to say we haven't hung out on a podcast in a while.
It's like double the stupid. This is the...
hey, no, don't do this.
That's why we're sitting this way. We're on one side of the table, you guys are on the other.
It does seem like a little bit like an interrogation, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So here, you guys can actually help us a little bit because Gus and I had this discussion the other day. Because there was some advance in robotics I read about, and then there was another advance I read about in AI technology. Like they'd done something. Actually, the advance in robotics. Did you read about this? The Japanese butt that responds to slaps and tickles?
No.
They developed a robotic. They developed a robotic butt that responds to touch. That Of
Right.
course, this for medical
What
purposes.
is like just clench up, or what do you mean? What do you mean?
No, somebody's got to look up the article.
What is
and
the
read it.
medical application of a robotic butt?
I
You
don't
said
know.
it's for medical purposes?
I don't know. I mean, it's a really specific part of the body, too. Why the butt? Why not the
And,
head?
and like they're like, what do we need to get the butt working on? Slaps and tickles. Maybe we'll add pooping on there later.
I'm sure that's just the sales presentation, Gus. That's just the sizzle that they use to sell it. I'm sure there's an actual practical application for it.
Hey, baby, love that wiggle.
I think it was like you could connect it up remotely over the net, and so you could slap the butt maybe here, and someone in your could feel it or something like that.
Okay, so there's no medical application. This is just a porn application.
What do you mean? So you slap the robot ass, and someone's ass feels it? What are you talking about?
They have that. Like the Japanese have a thing where you can transmit a kiss. It's like a
Oh,
box.
right.
It's like a box that has a straw on it, and the straw has a bend. So imagine one of those bendy straws with a 90-degree angle, and then you put that in your mouth and you twirl it with your tongue, and the other person puts their straw in their mouth, and it's like you can transmit a intimate kiss.
So you're tonguing each other through the internet with a straw.
Right.
Really?
I forgot about that. That was a long time
Can
ago.
you do it with a fleshlight?
Yeah, Gavin is in awe trying to figure this out, but Brandon's like trying to figure out how to pre-order this thing. I think. I'll look up the robotic butt. But what we were talking about was, so robotics, like, do you think in our lifetime that we're headed towards like a freestanding walking robot that can think for
Nah,
itself?
it's a gimmick.
Do you really think so?
That was a very fast response.
It's like 3D. It's like they'll make it and nobody will care.
But do you think they will make it?
Yeah, sure.
The technology will be capable
Yes.
of making that, right?
And nobody will buy one.
Autonomous.
I'm saying like you see in the movies, like we have robots that walk around and it's like a person in your house that you buy or hire and they help you with your daily life.
I would buy one if it was a
Is it-
stereotypical robot. I will get you tea and stuff like that. Just like walking around.
I wish everyone could have seen your robot impersonation, your mannerisms there.
Apparently getting T is doing like robotic karate chops.
But doesn't Honda have the Asimo already?
Yeah, and I think that was the advance in robotics that I read about was apparently Asimo has made huge
Yeah.
leaps and bounds, no pun intended, from what we had seen previously.
It will be like Siri, where you test out what it can do and you realize it's not helpful anyway and you'll leave it in the corner.
Yeah, well, I think, Siri was supposed to learn from everybody using it. Siri is worse today. We talked about this before.
Yeah, it got
Siri
dumb.
is dumber because it got exposed to
It's
everybody.
like a hive mind of our collective dumb.
It is. Because it's you literally think about how do you learn from people not knowing stuff? Like, Siri, where's my keys or whatever. I mean, it's like all I get asked all day is dumb things. It's exposed to people who don't know stuff.
Since Siri doesn't have eyes, do you think it wonders what keys are? It's like, what the fuck are keys, and why are people always losing them?
I mean, yeah, I wonder if some part of the internet has at this point become
Can
self-aware.
stuff become self-aware, or is that still sci-fi?
That's still sci-fi, so that does
But
not happen
like
yet.
AI can't
Unless you're talking about a
learn
robot
things
butt.
about itself yet.
Shh, Brandon, let Gavita talk. What can what do what?
Well, like AI can learn stuff, right?
Yeah, give me an example.
Well, like that, I saw a robot where you can show it a thing and be like, "This is a bus, like a toy bus," and it'll know, and then know what a bus is.
Just by the sight
Like
of it.
learning,
Could you show it other buses, and would it know that those were buses, or would it only recognize that specific bus?
and maybe it would recognize the shape and assume bus.
Or
But-
if you take the bus away and put like a line there, does it like want the bus back? Does it get sad?
yeah,
No.
but like, so we're not yet at the we're not yet at the point where it can start freaking out.
Freaking out. No, but I do. Occasionally, there's a guy we know who believes his version of what the apocalypse is going to be. Like, what is your version, Gavin? What do you think? How is the world going to be destroyed?
By man.
Yeah, by man. So like a war.
But
kind of thing?
specifically.
I reckon it's good, the world will end when someone goes, "I wonder what this does," and like blows the atmosphere off or something.
So what was the
You're like a 50s sci-fi movie.
So it's an attempted scientific discovery.
Yeah.
That goes all wrong and
Yeah,
destroys
I think
the
that'll be it.
atmosphere.
Or someone just builds a ridiculously overpowered weapon that knocks us out of orbit or something. There's no
On,
natural.
on purpose, they do
Yeah,
that. Oh, like a
maybe.
doomsday device.
Yeah, some tool.
Knocks us out of orbit.
Just like or an explosion so big it affects the Earth in some orbital way, like it speeds up the day or something.
So you seem to be keying on a man-made astronomical event. Like
Yes.
something will happen that will affect the Earth in a grand
Well,
way.
weren't NASA like blowing up bits of the moon at some point?
No.
Yeah, don't you remember? Tell us about it, Gav.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought you said something else.
I just don't want to have another conversation about the damn moon in this podcast.
About blowing
Let's
up
leave the
bits of
moon
the moon.
alone today.
The
It turns out the moon's moving away from Earth, not towards Earth. I was
please,
incorrect.
if we have another discussion
moving
about
away from Earth.
bad science. We will get tons of emails. We got so many emails last week about our bad science. They were just ripping us to shreds. Like the big thing was your Earth is expanding thing. That's completely false.
we kind of glossed over that. I wish we had jumped on that.
But you don't know. It's a theory that makes more sense than the reality.
No,
at this point.
No.
Yeah.
Wait. What's the theory and what's the reality?
The reality is that plate tectonics pushed all the continents apart and all that stuff.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
And the theory?
And the theory, the simulation I watched was just, it makes more sense if the Earth was expanding to force that to happen.
So, when, like, long ago, the Earth was tiny.
The thing is, we didn't link that thing that I was talking about. People should watch it, and it's like, yeah, that makes sense. I believe that. I'll go with that one.
Who made the thing you were watching?
I don't know. Some dude.
Alex Jones?
Who's that?
I don't know.
So, in your theory, the Earth was small and it was entirely land. And then it expanded, and the land masses cracked apart.
The inner core of the Earth is molten, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So that will affect, depending on how it cools, will affect the size of the Earth.
Yeah, how it cools will affect the size of the Earth. Okay.
What are you on about? When stuff changes temperature, it expands and like contracts in different. Like
it contracts. The only thing that expands when it freezes is water. It's the only thing that expands when it freezes.
It's very important.
It's the only thing that expands when it freezes.
It's why it's one of the most magical compounds we have.
It's why life exists on Earth.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything is more dense as a solid than it is as a liquid. Everything. Like if you take a brick of steel and drop it in molten steel, it will sink. Water's the only thing that if you take the solid form of it and put it in the liquid form of it, it floats on itself. It's very strange.
Because of the oxygen.
No, it's because of the way the bonds are in the molecules and the way they line up. When they become a solid, they can only line up in certain ways, and that makes a larger, essentially, lattice.
So can you freeze water in a different way and make it more dense than the liquid?
Yeah. Like, what are different ways of freezing things?
I don't know.
What do you think?
Liquid nitrogen.
Absolutely. And that makes dense water.
Does it? the whole way through that conversation, you are looking at me with like the most creepy look in your eye. I just...
It's not creepy. It's my eyes are watering because I'm about to laugh. I'm just like, keep it in.
I mean, you can super cool stuff, and it will freeze in different ways.
You can super cool stuff.
Like you can chill water down below freezing before it freezes.
And
then you add an impurity, and it will freeze instantly.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's like that trick people do when they take a beer out of the freezer and then they like tap it and the whole thing freezes.
Yeah. Or like you drop a sugar lump into it and it'll just instantly freeze.
Okay, we get into this debate often.
What, super cooled water?
No, Celsius and Fahrenheit.
God, here we go again.
Well, everyone thinks Celsius is so important because it makes sense because it's based on the freezing point of water and the boiling point of water, right? Mm-hmm. That 100 is great. We've made our arguments about why Fahrenheit is better. But here's the other thing I gotta say. The boiling point of water doesn't fucking matter to the average person. I realize we boil water a lot. Nobody measures the temperature of the water to boil it. Yeah, you just fucking boil it.
When it's boiling, you're boiling. I mean, it's either boiling or not. If you're outside, if you encounter any temperature near that, it doesn't matter what temperature it is. You're fucking dead.
It's also like you don't need to be able to measure that. Like you don't need a thermometer. You don't put a thermometer in a pot of water to boil it and say, "Oh, it's almost there." You never do that because when you boil something, it hits. In Fahrenheit, it hits 212 and stops.
But we were talking about this the other week. Everything's a base based on 10, isn't it? We were talking about counting stuff. It's easy to have water boil at 100.
Why?
What do you mean why? Why have 100 and then have 101?
But you don't need to know it. You don't need to know 100 degrees because you never use it. Have you ever seen 100 on a thermometer hit ever? I've never seen 212 hit on a thermometer because you don't measure it. Why have a value you never measure?
Well, I'm sure scientists measure it.
Yeah, but so they can use it. They have Kelvin.
I mean, it's like you know when something boils, like you just add heat to it, like water, for instance. You add as much heat as you want to it. The temperature the pot raises up to 212. The water inside, then it stops while water is boiling. It is 212 until it's done boiling.
Well, either way, Fahrenheit is based off some dude's wife's armpit, so that's a great measure as well.
Is it really?
Yeah.
No, I have to look that up. Is that true?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You know what's fucking crazy? While we're talking about how crazy water is, I was working out at the pool this weekend, and I can say we take water for granted. You know what's really cool is evaporation. Like the fact that you can I had to dry off a bunch of shit, so I was thinking about this. That you can just like spread water out thin, and eventually it's just gone. It just evaporates.
When I was in first grade, I was fascinated by evaporation.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see it happening, so I filled a bowl with water, and I sat outside all day staring at it, and I never saw it. But then, like, looking back, it's like, the water was gone when you left. Like, I didn't make the connection as a kid that the water was less. It was almost all gone. But I didn't see it, so it didn't exist to me.
You were expecting to see like wavy lines?
Yeah, I don't know what I expected, like steam or wavy lines.
It's like blobs of water just rising up out,
Yeah.
just
Okay.
floating off into sky.
Let's talk about hot chicks for a second. We need a break in
Good
here.
God, that was
Oh, really? I wanted to talk about Minecraft.
All right, we'll talk about Minecraft. But here's the thing that I was going to ask you guys about. So, robotics and artificial intelligence and all that stuff we know is coming. So there's always these technologies that we know are going to exist, and we just don't have them. And Gus and I were having a discussion of what is the technology that probably existed that we were aware of for the longest amount of time, but we just couldn't harness it, whatever it was. And it just took somebody coming along to develop it.
What, you mean the technology that now exists?
I'll give you a good one. The longest one I could probably think of is flight. Like, people wanted to fly for fucking ever. You know, they saw birds, and there was like, I was playing Assassin's Creed, and there's, you know, Leonardo da Vinci's in there. Which is this
Idiot.
It's like the stupidest cameo ever. But he's got the flying machine in there. But, like, people tried to fly for thousands and thousands of years before these two dopes, you know.
Well, I'd say
Before your two
wireless,
honkies figured it out.
Before my two honkies figured it out.
wireless technology was a big deal. I mean, talking on a phone that's not connected to anything.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't predict that very well. Like, you see all these shows from the 50s and 40s or whatever, where they predict a future, maybe like Thunderbirds or something, where everything's futuristic.
Yeah.
Never predicted mobile phones, though.
They also predict, like, the video calling and shit
Yeah.
like that.
Video calling was one that was forever.
Yeah.
It's like we were going to have this eventually. They had stuff demonstrating that like back in the 40s.
Yeah, and didn't AT&T have, like, a video calling service in the 90s you could pay a ton of money for?
But it looked like crap.
Yeah, it
yeah.
looked like shit. It was like a 320 by 240 little image. Like, it was like 10 frames. No, sure, 4 frames a second.
So you buy one and then...
It might not have been a frame a second. You might just push the
It was,
button.
it was a
and send
frame
an
every
image.
3 or 4 seconds.
Is that what it was? Yeah. There was a sharper image phone where you could push a button and send your photo. Your like. Just take a photo.
So what percentage of dicks were the, like, of all the photos was sent?
What,
Who
you
of
can
the
only
people-
imagine.
Who of the people who bought one knew someone else who had one?
Yeah, that was the thing. Someone else had to have one and send it.
Yeah.
But like electricity, it seems like electricity has been around for centuries and centuries.
I don't think that would have been a thing that people were looking for.
I think
I don't
flight-
think they would have understood
'Cause,
that you
like,
could harness it.
I can understand flight. It's like, oh, I wish I could fly. But I wouldn't have thought, I wish I could move electrons and crap so I can power a bulb or something. You know.
No, what you're saying makes total sense. It's like
maybe-
lightning has existed since the
I
beginning of
still
time.
don't like the way you're looking at me.
No, it's okay. No, this is legitimate. I actually am interested.
Maybe they could have been interested in light, like, you know, living in a cave or
They
a
already
fucking
have
cabin.
light.
Yeah,
They
but they're
couldn't
like,
make
God,
light.
I don't want to. I wish I didn't have this fucking torch. I wish there was just something I could have that illuminated everything without having to burn and make smoke.
Yeah.
You'd be like a hipster. We should have this fucking torch.
Well, they had the moon and the sun.
They did have the moon and the sun. Very good point, Gavin.
But, like, did they know the moon wasn't a myth? Why are we talking about the moon again?
Gavin makes a good point, though, is that somebody could see a lightning bolt, right?
Yeah.
And they might not apply that and say, okay, I see that lightning bolt, I can turn that into something that I could use. That doesn't seem like something that's possible. So it's going to sound like a really stupid question. Who invented electricity? Because we have an American tale of where electricity came from, and I don't think probably, Gavin, you would know it.
I don't know. Well, I mean, there was friction and stuff that created sparks. They probably invented that way before, you
Yeah.
know, they were using electricity.
yeah, they
prob-
did. I
probably
think the
knew about
cavemen
it.
invented friction.
You're saying
I,
who's
I
the
don't
first
remember my history, but I think.
Are you talking about Flint and steel?
Somewhere in
No, no, I'm talking
Mesopotamia,
about,
they
like-
developed friction.
You know, like charged particles.
Yeah.
I mean, if people were using like material and fabric and fur and all that, they probably would have had static,
You're
right?
talking about static electricity?
Yeah.
Where they just like scuff their feet on the carpet and shock each other?
Well, not carpet, but
Do you say like
Maybe
how
a
much
rug.
how much sooner before Ben Franklin did people theorize that you could maybe harness electricity?
Okay, so
right?
tell us,
Is that what you're saying?
who invented electricity?
Invented? I don't think
You know what I mean?
he discovered. I suppose that you could
what did Edison
harness
do?
electricity. I mean,
That's horseshit, though, right? Because if Ben Franklin is really the guy who discovered whatever, utilized electricity for the first time, he's like the most important guy in history. That's like his thing. I mean, fuck all the government
That
stuff.
can't even be true, right? That's just a fucking.
That's got to be made up.
That's just like an urban legend or a myth.
well, I mean, a lot of people were probably doing it at the time. Other people were flying while the Wright brothers were flying.
No, don't be like that.
I'm just saying, like, there's a lot going on, and like, some people get a lot of publicity, and some people don't.
Yeah. So if I were to credit anyone
If
for
it was
electricity, it would be Edison or Tesla.
Oh, I was about to say we're getting dangerously close to a Tesla conversation now.
I threw it out there.
Nerdiest podcast ever, by the way.
But he was like a freak of nature.
He
right?
was awesome.
He's from the future. He must have like looked around at all the people he knew and all the technology that was around and just been like, God damn.
Can you imagine if that was you? Like, if you went back to the 1800s, you didn't have shit. Like, your iPhone doesn't work.
Yeah.
You're like,
Where do I
I gotta start trying to make shit to get my iPhone back.
he was doing stuff that just didn't make any sense for a human born in that time period. Like that little vibration machine he had, where he could like match the resonance of an object to the point where he could literally shake it apart.
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Nor have I.
The little earthquake machine.
What happened to all of this
I think
shit?
it was
I mean, there's so many people that are so interested in Tesla. How come nobody's recreated any of
like
this stuff?
say you had an iron bar,
Okay.
it would be rock solid. You literally wouldn't be able to do it.
Sure.
but
I would buy a good iron bar. I'm a thrifty consumer.
It's not even. But he would like make it vibrate at a certain frequency that matched the frequency of this iron bar to the point where it would be bending like crazy, like properly moving like this.
Properly.
And but you couldn't. It wouldn't be. It'd be rock solid to a human's touch.
Sounds like Tesla owes me a new iron bar. That's what I'm hearing. I think that's like the wind resonance of like the harmonics of a bridge. Have you seen that before?
It's a similar sort of thing.
Suspension bridge. Well,
And there was a myth that Tesla like strapped something to the foundation of a building and had it vibrating to the point where they thought it was an earthquake. The people in the building thought it was an earthquake,
that sounds pretty awesome, actually.
but it wasn't.
I saw
But the building can't have one frequency that it resonates at.
I don't know. It must have been like some.
There's different materials in
Yeah, I
there.
know.
It
Well,
seems like
I
with
know.
a resonance that you could get it going and then match. It seems like you could force a resonance on something and then also, like I think so.
If
Everything
they
has
felt
its
the
own.
same rhythm, it would just keep it going.
Well,
Yeah.
everything has a frequency. doesn't
Everything
it?
has its own, but there's also
think,
different components.
Like
of the
you
thing,
can
too.
you can ting a glass and it'll make a noise, and if you blast that same frequency back at it, it will smash.
But a
Did he
building
ever
is-
strap it to a human?
Oh, that'd be cool.
But a building is a lot more complex structure than a glass, a
Yeah, I
wine
know.
glass.
I think
you know?
Mythbusters tested it. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
I
sure.
think they maybe disproved it.
Have you ever seen the time traveling hipster? Like the photo of the guy
No.
at something. See the guy right there with the glasses on?
Some hipster from the future.
It's some like, photo from the 19. We'll put this in the link up.
Is that real?
Photoshopped. Yeah. No, it's not photoshopped.
How do you know?
Because they found it in some archive. It's an actual photo.
I love how the banner ad on that website is sunglasses.
Yeah, no kidding, right? It is. It's a short description of the photograph as shown in the virtual Pioneer Museum from British Columbia. The image can be seen specifically on this page, among other items of the online exhibit. It is from 1940, and it's like some dude who looks like he's a hipster from, right now,
Yeah.
from like Greenwich Village, who just showed up at this bridge.
To think of that guy as
dedication.
like a wrinkly old dude or dead is kind of weird. He looks very modern.
Oh, do you get wrapped up in that when you see pictures of, people?
I get wrapped up in that when I see pictures of hot chicks from a long time ago.
I don't like watching old movies now. Like I was watching Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the first
It's
movie.
an old movie, Gus.
Yeah, that's ancient.
No, but just thinking like, most of these people are dead. They're all dead.
No,
There's so many old
Maybe
people
the
in that
old
movie.
people.
Yeah.
Gene Wilder's alive.
Yeah, I know. But there's
I think he means like the grandparents, but that's not most of the people. That's like 3 characters at the fucking beginning of the movie.
a lot of the Oompa Loompas are dead.
Is Gene Wilder alive?
Well,
He
they
is
were
alive.
midgets.
They were dwarves.
No. Gene Wilder.
Whatever.
I think we talked about this on the podcast before. He's like one of those people you just assume's dead. Christopher Lloyd, I think you'd assume he's dead.
I don't just, why would I assume Gene Wilder's dead? I wouldn't assume that.
You just said questions. You just asked, is he dead?
Gene Wilder was born Jerome Silberman.
How old is he?
Good to know.
He is 78 years old. No, so it's kicking it.
I watched a basketball game last night.
Here's a good question. Do you guys know who Gilda Radner is?
Yes.
You do? Okay. Because he was married to Gilda Radner. Anyway, go ahead about your basketball game.
Well, there was a guy in the game called, his last name was World Peace. And I
Yes.
thought that was extremely lame that he changed his name to World Peace.
Yes, welcome to American sports.
Yeah.
Formerly Ron Artest.
Yeah, don't tell him that.
By the way, his name is World Peace. Ron
will
Artest,
destroy you.
before he changed his name to World Peace, he was best known for going into the stands and punching out a bunch of fans. he started a massive brawl. Was he with the
Pacers.
Pacers,
Yeah.
yeah. God, that was crazy.
Yeah, it was insane.
What, somebody threw a drink at him or something like that?
Someone threw a beer at him, and then he got up and he ran after the guy, but it turns out it was the wrong guy. He
Wow.
ended up beating that guy. And
Wow.
then, the other players ran into the stands. It was awesome. It was pretty great.
It was pretty brutal.
I'm actually going to a basketball game, my first one tonight.
Oh, you
I'm gonna
really?
watch the Spurs play. Because in England, I support a football team called Tottenham Hotspurs, and they're known as the Spurs. So I figured I'd come and show support for
That
the
makes
American
total
Spurs.
sense.
I want
Like,
to see
could
if all my
exactly why you would do that.
I want to see if all my
Absolutely.
chants still apply.
Whenever I go to other countries, I visit Rooster Farms. Don't you?
Yeah, duh. And dentist offices.
Get my teeth
I can't get enough of that.
So, who are they playing? Who are the Spurs playing tonight?
The Clippers.
Oh, good luck with
Is that right?
Are the Clippers a playoff?
They advanced past the first round. It's like it's only their third. I heard this the other day. It's only their third playoff series in like 40 years.
I must have been out of the basketball game for a while because I didn't know the Clippers.
Well, Chris Humphries plays for the Clippers, right? Chris Paul.
God.
Or
Listen,
no, the dude who's married to Kim Kardashian.
Oh.
I do not follow. That guy's an athlete? The guy that married
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian?
Blake Griffin? Is that his name?
Yeah,
Blake Griffin
He's playing.
plays for the Clippers.
Yeah,
I didn't know
He's
his
playing
name.
tonight.
You have sex with Kim Kardashian, you are a super athlete. We saw Reggie Bush jump like 10 yards.
That was amazing, dude.
We saw when the Clippers are in the playoffs now. We want to see what Kanye West gets into now.
Just Kim Kardashian.
That's enough of that.
Do you want to talk about Minecraft?
I do want to talk about Minecraft.
Well, guys, I'm actually going to bolt because I'm going to New York City right now. And I'm going to go do something very, very cool, which will, I guess, when is the podcast going to come out? It's probably out after I'm all done.
Yeah.
But I get to sit in on the Howard Stern wrap-up show.
That is a
this
big
week.
deal.
It's the big leagues.
Fucking awesome.
So it's like the podcast.
Exactly. It's identical to this podcast.
I watched him on America's Got Talent last night.
Howard Stern is not on the Howard Stern wrap-up show.
It's true. It's true. Did you know that the prize for America's Got Talent is $1 million paid over the span of 40 years?
That's the way lotteries work here, too.
How does that work? That's like 25 grand a year.
Nope. How do they do that? They might build in the interest into the price. So it's how much? $1 million?
$1 million over 40 years. I mean, I can make $1 million in 40 years. It's no big deal.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's just extra money you don't have to worry about. It's like every month you get a couple extra grand.
Plus, I mean, isn't the real value of winning that what happens to you afterwards? I mean,
Yes.
I mean,
Why don't they just give you $1 million lump?
Do you think? I don't know.
40 years.
40 years. So what is that? What's 40 times?
That's 25 grand a year.
You really? Yeah, it's 25 grand a year. You're absolutely right. That's what that is.
He must have been working on this all night.
Yeah, 25 grand a year.
That's nothing.
That doesn't seem like a
really
whole
crap
lot.
salary.
There's those places that will take your annuities and winnings, like if you have a long-term payout, and they'll just give you a lump sum up front to take over the long-term payments.
They do that if it's like the state lottery. I don't know if they're going to do that for a production company running a popular TV show.
But I assume that the production company doesn't run the fund. I assume there's a third party.
It's insured.
That might be
business.
That might be part of the deal, though. I mean, it's like
It just seems like when it actually comes down to you winning any sort of prize, it's never as good as it seems.
But I assume the notoriety or whatever, the prestige that comes with it, winning America's Got Talent
Of course,
like, or something.
you're going to make something sound as good as it possibly can.
Yeah, but if someone came up to me and said, I just won $1 million, and I'd be like, that's awesome, what are you going to buy? And they'd be like, I'm just going to put
A used car.
put a couple of grand away every month.
It's not every month, yeah. Because is it after taxes? I mean, there wouldn't be taxes
It's
at
all
25.
before.
Well, it wouldn't be $25,000. There's no tax level at $25,000.
No,
right?
but you still have to pay taxes because it's like a
you'd be-
lottery winning or a sweepstakes winning.
Wow, it's like a windfall.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
It sounds terrible. It just sounds like effort.
Well, I mean, it's you're getting $25,000 for 40 years for getting on stage and singing or juggling with your mouth. What do they do on the show?
I don't know. It shouldn't be called America's Got Talent.
Why not?
It should be called America's Got Some Frickin' Lunatics. I watched a guy like stick needles through his face. I don't want to watch that kind of thing.
Really?
Yeah.
So, it's based on a British show, though, isn't it?
Britain's Got Talent. It's a Simon Cowell show.
Is it really?
Psycho.
So is Simon Cowell one of the judges on the
No.
British show?
Oh yeah, he used to be. I don't think he does that anymore.
Really? He's moved
beneath
on.
him.
He's moved on from
He
the
doesn't like to
judging
sit at a
game.
table. He gets bored.
But it's not a bad thing. I mean, you go on a show for, one season and you get 25 grand for 40 years. That's usually for life, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
I wouldn't turn
like-
it down.
I wouldn't turn it down, but I wouldn't brag about it either.
You're mad that you can't live off of it. It's still a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like,
It's still $1
you're
million
pissed
bucks.
off that when you break it down, it doesn't sound as sweet as when you just summarize it.
Basically, I want the lifestyle of a guy who just won $1 million. I don't want the lifestyle of a guy who makes 25 grand a year.
But you make
Very
25
different
million
things.
for not doing anything, though. That's just extra money.
I think-
Free money.
I think Gav is mad that he still has to work after winning $1 million.
Yeah,
That
that's
you can't
exactly
just
what I'm mad about.
live off of it.
But it's actually might work out in your benefit, too, because if you got $1 million, you would get hit heavy on taxes for it. You'd probably make about $600,000.
I would rather have 600,000 than 25 grand every year for 40 years.
We got to discuss hey, Jack is going to come take my place. We got to discuss the economics of that. Why? What would you do with $600,000?
You just go mental with it.
Just do whatever?
I'd buy an Aston Martin for a start.
God damn, shut up with the fucking Aston Martin. I am so sick about hearing this goddamn car.
Why don't you just
They said the first fucking thing out of your mouth anytime.
How many ladies would you get with Aston Martin?
You? I'm gonna guess 0.
Can I tell you
What are you
something?
talking about?
Most people in America, when they see an Aston Martin driving down the road, they don't recognize it. They don't know it's a $180,000 car.
I'll go and live in England then.
Yeah, but that's the problem. Then you have to live in England.
By the way, now
You did live in England.
By the way,
for
now
many
you
years.
only have 400,000 because you live in England. Their taxes are so much higher, and your $400,000 is worth 200,000 pounds. So you somehow have lost 80% of your money in one move. All right, gentlemen, I will see you on Thursday.
Good luck.
Enjoy the rest of the podcast without me.
Good luck, Bernie Birds.
Yeah.
Hey, audience, get ready for some suck.
Bye, Bernie. What's up, guys?
What's up, Jack?
What's going on in here? What have I missed?
Oh, we just talked about the moon again.
Yeah?
You know, boring stuff. Talked about robotic butts that you can slap.
Jack,
Of course.
Did you read about the
Old people that used to be hot.
No? I've read about the Japanese video game where you have to shove stuff up a butt.
No. You shove your finger up a butt.
Yeah, finger up a butt. That's
Yeah.
what it was. Okay. That's a real thing, by the way.
Yeah, so is the thing we're talking about.
Hey,
Here,
gu-
take your soda.
We didn't talk about being dead again. They're going to go mental.
I didn't talk about anything on my list.
Hey, since it's...
Oh, wait, weren't you two gonna... You tell me the story. Weren't you two gonna ambush me at lunch the other day? At Green Mesquite?
Were we going to do
You
that?
were going to ambush him?
Okay, Bernie's coming
Okay,
back.
can I join into something? Gus, we tried to break your mind. We had a conspiracy of people trying to fuck with you, and you didn't even notice.
Yeah.
We know how picky you are about the way that you receive stuff, like information. And so it was me and Gav and Jordan, who makes the RT Animated Adventures. We spent an entire week sending you aims with everything in quotes.
Okay, yeah. God damn it! God damn it!
What was that? What just flew off?
Gus just stood up and threw his headphones off.
I was trying. I was going through all of my settings. I was doing Google searches. What the fuck is going on?
He didn't react to it anyway, which is why I was getting annoyed. I was typing, like, for 4 days, I was typing everything in quotes, and he wasn't reacting.
Was there an update to I am? Like, where is this setting? Where is all of my
The thing is, I was talking to you specifically just so I could type in quotes. I was making conversation with you over AIM. I never do that. I was making conversation in quotes.
And it was like, it's got to be AIM, because at the same time I was having a conversation with all three of you, it seemed unconnected. I was like, why is it all in quotes?
All right, I really do have to go. Explain to them exactly what we were doing so the audience understands what we were doing.
So we would every AIM message we were sending to Gus, we would start with a with a quote and end with a quote. So everything would be in quotes.
Right.
And there's three of us doing it, and you did not react. I was just making conversation, be like, "Hey, we were talking about a beard or something." I was like, "You should do this to your beard," and it all in quotes. And you were just responding to me like a regular conversation. And I was getting so annoyed.
It was really fucking with me, man. I had no idea what's going on. I did so many goddamn Google searches and
That might be the most animated I've ever seen Gus.
Gus jumped up.
He
yanked
jumped
some
up, slammed
headphones
his
out of the
chair.
mixer, and an adapter for the headphones flew up in the
no
air and
idea
landed
where-
somewhere. It went behind that box.
oh, I see. It was this thing.
Oh my god! It was actually one of the sliders.
mixer. Monty just walked in. So
So no video podcast, eh?
not today. Sorry, we
Never again.
God damn. So welcome, Jack and Monty. I'm
We
gonna fix the mixer.
We
so you
just
guys talk for a
annoyed
bit.
Gus so much that he broke the mixer.
Good
One of the
God.
sliders flew off the board.
I see.
That might be some of the best trolling I've ever heard of in this office.
Oh, it was amazing. You went in on it, were you?
No. I knew nothing of this.
I heard something all the way in the back of the studio. Came to investigate.
I'm so happy it got to you.
Oh man, I wish we had been filming that. Oh god.
Wow.
That was last week or the week before. That was God.
So who all was in on that?
Jordan, myself, and Bernie.
Just the three of y'all?
Yeah, we were just chatting to him in quotes. Everything was in quotes.
That was fucking.
How long did you guys keep that up? Like how many days?
I did it for a few days, and then I just got mad that he just wasn't reacting. He didn't even ask me like, "Why are you typing in quotes?" Just ignored it.
I thought it was an IM. I thought it was my fucking computer. God damn.
Why would that be an option?
I don't know.
Why would that be a setting you could turn on?
I don't know. I almost at one point I almost asked Bernie about it. I was like, I was gonna say, are all IMs you're getting in quotes also, or is it just me?
There's nothing worse than trying to prank someone and having no reaction to it. So that's
Yeah.
why we gave up. But
Well, you just got
I'm
glorious
my
reaction.
reaction was right there when you broke the mixer.
God damn.
Well, hey, since it's Wednesday, how are you enjoying Diablo 3, Gus?
Is it Wednesday?
We're recording. we'll break the illusion. We're actually recording on Tuesday this week.
So I was a little late for work today because I was reading Twitter from last night. Apparently, like Diablo's servers were a bastard to get into, like error 37 and stuff. So a lot of people went apeshit about that.
It's to be expected. Honestly, it's when a highly anticipated game comes out that requires authentication.
Yeah.
Wait,
it's not going to work the second it launches.
You were late to work because you were reading Twitter?
Yeah. I check it like
it's like
I check it every
it's a
morning.
huge commitment. Like
no, I check it every morning.
I check it
you
every
can't do that
morning.
while you're like
Take a dump.
Check
check
it when you're
Twitter.
stopped in traffic or something. You actually take time out of your day to check Twitter.
Yeah, I wake up. That's like one of the first things to do. I check my email. I check Twitter.
and that made you late to work?
Yeah, there was a lot of tweets last night. A lot of people talking about Diablo 3 and going apeshit because
Well, so wait,
because it was delayed.
are you reading mentions to you or just reading the whole of Twitter that you missed?
No, well,
The whole of Twitter.
yes, I was reading all of Twitter.
Like, do you read your whole timeline from when
Yes.
you are seriously?
Well,
who has time to do that?
So I check it.
Well,
at
you
night.
have time if you just show up late to work.
I check it at night before I go to bed.
I read my
And then-
timeline.
Yeah.
What? So you go to bed and you start when you
Yeah,
go to sleep.
but I only follow like 30 or 40 people.
Oh, well, that's okay.
Yeah.
I just don't give a damn. I just don't
Wow.
care.
So anyone you follow, you don't give a shit about them?
I mean, if I'm checking Twitter at the moment they tweet, I'll see it.
Well, isn't that the whole point of Twitter?
I
mean,
wonder how many people use Twitter like that versus people who
I
check
would
the whole
never
timeline.
read the whole timeline. I don't even.
You're the one in the minority here, asshole. Don't talk to
Yeah,
us
yeah.
like we're idiots.
I think you're wasting time.
That's
to
the
be
whole point
honest.
of Twitter.
Late for work.
Twitter is wasting time. I don't know if you know that.
I just check it when I'm rendering something. It's like,
I used to go back. I used to check it like every night and see what I missed, but now I just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things.
Hey,
Like
dude.
after time, you're just like I don't fucking care.
dude, high five.
Idiots.
that was a weak high five.
really weak.
Good God. I don't think the mics even picked that up.
I don't think so either.
Anyway, so are you going to be
Have you-
playing Diablo 3?
Yeah. Right now, I'm really into Minecraft, which I want to talk about at some point. But
Okay.
I downloaded it. I installed it. Like even installing it, I felt like took a while yesterday. Like I didn't install it during the day like I wanted to. I waited till like 8 or 9 p.m. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And installing it like took a while for it to, I guess, authenticate and download the updates. But yeah, I installed it, so I will be playing at some point.
As of right now, I don't own it, but the more and more I read about it, the more I think I might have to go pick it up.
I don't even know what it
Just
is.
buy it on Battle.net and just digital delivery it.
Yeah, but is it 60?
Yeah.
What kind of game is it?
It's Diablo.
I don't know what that is. I never played it.
It's like a dungeon crawler. You like go around and you kill monsters and shit. You like click on them and kill them.
Oh.
Collect
It's
loot.
a novel concept. Breaking new ground.
It's an old series.
It is a very old series. Did you play Diablo at all?
No.
No? See, I played Diablo 1. I never played Diablo 2. God, I remember the days in Diablo 1 where you could, like, when someone learned how you could duplicate items, and that was, like, the coolest thing ever, and, like whalebone armor and stuff like that.
I played Diablo 1. It's been so long since I played Diablo 1. I played Diablo 2 and Lord of Destruction as well. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I think I like StarCraft and Warcraft more than I like Diablo as far as Blizzard properties. So I'm still really excited about it. I'm still going to play it, but it's...
Do you think
I'm gonna wait a little
Do you think Blizzard will ever release, like, Warcraft 4 or whatever? Like, another RTS in Warcraft?
Right, or did World of Warcraft
Yeah, or did that
take over?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What was the
That'd be
first
interesting.
computer game you remember playing, Gus?
First computer game I remember playing... God. Oh, God. I used to play some shit on the Commodore 64. It was like a...
What was the 64?
It was like a...
What did that
It was
stand
like
for?
a...
think
It was a
64
weird
megs.
game. Remember that old comic strip, BC? About the cavemen?
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
There was like a game about that where you like ride
the
a
Viking, not
unicycle.
Hagar, right?
No.
No.
You like have to ride a unicycle and
I know
pick up
Hagar.
gems. Oh no! Wait. Even before that, you said computer. Oh yeah. That's probably one of the earliest computer games I can remember playing. The 64 was like the beige one with the monitor and the keyboard built in.
But why was it called 64?
It had like 64 bytes of memory,
Yeah.
or maybe 64K of memory
Why was the
Jesus.
Nintendo 64 called 64?
64-bit
graphics.
graphics.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Back then, PS1 and Sega
Genesis?
Sega Saturn were 32-bit.
Oh yeah.
It was a big deal back then. Like the NES was 8, the Super Nintendo was 16.
16.
Then everyone went 32, and then Nintendo came out with the 64.
They jumped everyone.
Those jumps, yes.
Now no one
No one
knows or
yeah,
cares.
sure.
Yeah.
I don't
Shit.
know why my memory of the N64 is so high. Like, I love that thing. But I know that, like, if I go back and play GoldenEye or something, it's just going to suck.
I remember looking forward to the N64 so much because I was really into Killer Instinct back then, and it was advertised on the arcade console, like coming soon to the Ultra 64, and then it just ended up being this like kiddie game console.
Did you ever hear of that thing they added to it? Called, like, this is 64 DD
Yeah,
or
the double D.
the double D, where you had like a disk drive. What was that for? I never even saw one.
I don't think they've. I think it was more supported in Japan. I think it came out in the US, but I don't think there was any support for it.
All these consoles that I had like massive potential for expansion. Like they pre-built on all these expansion ports. Like the PS2, you could look straight through; it was like half empty.
Maybe they did that for Heat.
There was an expansion pack for the 64.
No, there was like a hard drive slot in one side of the PS2,
right.
which I never saw anyone use.
There was hard drive and a broadband adapter for the PS2.
Did you ever have one?
I had one.
That's how you played,
it
Final
became-
Fantasy 11.
Final Fantasy 11
Yeah.
was very important to have that because it had hard drive. It needed hard drive space.
I played the original SOCOM over the network. I didn't use the hard drive, but I used the broadband adapter.
Was this before XBL?
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Even the GameCube had like all these stackable things you could do. To
Yeah,
it.
you could put like a modem or a network adapter
You could
in
have
it.
a Game Boy as
Did you
well.
ever,
Did
you ever
you
play
know-
Sega CD?
In Japan,
No?
that they when the original NES was out, you could go to like a 7-Eleven and get like a blank cartridge and buy a game and put it on the cartridge and take it home and play it.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's crazy.
The first ROMs.
Gus, you might have been in Houston during this time. The Genesis, there was a service from Time Warner Cable called, well, it was like a subscription service where you plugged your cable into your Genesis, and you had like 50 games to play every month. And there was like a new game that came out, and you could play it for like 10 minutes.
I remember that.
Sega TV, I think.
That's right.
It was like years and years and years ahead of its time.
Now, did you guys ever do dial-up like BBSs or anything?
I don't even.
I played dial-up on the Dreamcast.
Played dial-up on the.
Or I used the. They have it was a
I was like, was there a
56K modem.
Dreamcast game called dial-up?
There was a 56K modem on the Dreamcast. I remember playing football on it, and it was like the shittiest thing ever, but it was still really cool.
Man. So you never got on like BBSs or anything like that?
No.
Gus, I'm assuming you're a BBS guy.
yeah.
What's a BBS?
It was a bulletin board system. It was a dial-up thing where you connect with your modem to a server, and it was like the one I was on. You literally had to pay for your phone line to get in. Like there were so many people, and like your subscription was enough to pay for a phone line. So it was like $15 a month, and you could dial into these things, and they had like multiplayer stuff set up where it's like there's a game called Legends of the Red Dragon, which it was like a turn-based game. And so every day you logged in, you got like 20 turns, and you got to go around and look for stuff. And then they had like multiplayer components to it. So if like someone else was playing the game and you came across them, you could fight them, which was essentially you hit A for attack or whatever, or R to run. And yeah, it was fun, man. And then that same server, they ended up getting something called APSI Doom, which tricked your computer into thinking the dial-up was actually a local network, like an IPX network, so you could play Doom 4-player online.
I forgot about that.
God.
Was it APSI or ASPI?
No, I'm pretty sure it's APCI. And yeah, so I played 4-player Doom and Doom 2 forever. Like
What year was that then?
God, that was the 90s.
94 maybe?
Wow.
94, 95, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I was in middle school, so yeah.
They had XP Connect for the Xbox One.
I
So I remember
that,
playing
yeah.
Halo.
I played Halo
online.
Online,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was actually pretty fun.
It sucked though because
It's super
if you
laggy.
played enough, you realized that whoever was host always won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there was so much lag because they didn't anticipate playing it over the network.
Man, kids today, they'll never know the pain of, when your,
They have pain. It's just a different pain.
when your mom picks up the phone and
Remember-
kills your connection. It's like,
That's how I
son
feel.
of a bitch.
That's how I feel about like online porn. Because like,
What?
Go on.
well, because like when you're growing up, it's like if you find an image, like you're like, oh man, this is gonna be great, and you have to wait like 3 minutes for the image to load. Now there's like video porn ads.
Yeah.
That blows my mind.
Yeah,
like there are commercials that is like
When I
porn movies.
when I first connected
these are
to-
like you're like, oh god, I hate to have this commercial.
When I first connected to the internet, my internet connection was so slow that it took me a minute to download 10 kilobytes. So to like download a porn JPEG, if it was like 40 or 50 kilobytes, it would take like 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, and
so
then-
it'd be like, all right, here we go. I'd read like the text description, be like, oh, this one sounds good.
See,
Start to download.
and you appreciate it. It was even better.
No, it's
You're like,
better.
I worked for this.
Oh, that doesn't match the description.
Everyone had the same 3 Pamela Anderson photos and the Anna Nicole Smith photos.
You guys are gross.
They were like 640 by 40 resolution. Probably.
Yeah. God.
Fucking terrible.
You have to bury them in the computer somewhere where your parents can't find them.
And then you look at that folder, you're like, oh my god, this is like 8 days worth of
C:\Windows.
Yeah.
So Minecraft. I've been playing
Yes.
the shit out of some Minecraft lately.
So you didn't play on the PC?
No. By the time I became interested in it on the PC, they had made the announcement it was coming out on the Xbox. I was like, oh, I'm just waiting for the Xbox version.
Get the achievements.
I don't care about the achievements, but I just wanted to.
Did you watch the Let's Play that we did?
Oh my
I
god,
watched
that
the
was
Let's
fucking
Play.
funny.
Dude, so that Let's Play, that was the first time myself, Jeff, and Michael had ever touched Minecraft.
It shows.
And you can see it.
And
Like,
I
I look at it now and I'm just embarrassed.
You're like there, like hacking up sand with a pickaxe.
Yeah.
It's like, God, what do you do? But I played probably like 50, 60 hours on the PC.
I don't
so
understand where the lava came from. What was with that?
Yeah.
I basically like because I knew that they all sucked, so I immediately made the decision not to help them build their house. I went off and did my own thing. I was like, I'll see you.
So you found the center of the earth? What?
you
I
just encounter
basically-
lava sometimes.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I basically said, I'm going to wait until they have a house, and I'm going to tip lava on it. That's pretty much what I did. They had a night in there. I think they had a couple of nights.
Yeah, we had a couple nights.
I went down and mined some iron, made a bucket, put lava in my bucket. I waited until the morning, walked out, dumped lava on the house, and then walked off. And then the reaction to that is probably the funniest thing I've ever seen.
No, the funniest thing I've ever seen is them not being able to find the house and Ray building a new house right next to it.
That was pretty incredible. I mean, Ray literally built like maybe like 6 meters away
Yeah.
or 8 meters away, something like that, like 8 blocks away from our old house.
Like-
And like his realization is so beautiful.
He pretty much backs up and bumps into it. He's like, oh, my house!
Oh man, but yeah, we've got another video coming out soon. That there's some reactions in there that almost are equivalent to the ones in the Let's Play.
God, that was
I
funny.
don't know how much I want to say about how far away is that video. You're cutting it, right, Kevin?
It'll be out on Friday, I think.
Okay, yeah,
It's, we go for an achievement. We do it live.
yeah.
So
Hi, Siri.
I'm having a bitch of a time finding gold. Like last night, I was digging down and I finally found gold. There were like 2 blocks of gold right next to each other. I was like, sweet, I finally found the gold. I dug one up and lava came right to it.
You lost the block.
Yeah, I lost the block. I was like, what the fuck?
That's awesome.
So I'm trying to find gold so I can make powered rail lines, so I can make a
You
subway.
actually need a lot of gold to do that.
Yeah,
you
and
need
I can't-
6
I have-
gold to get 4 tracks.
I have 0 gold. I can't
You lost
fucking
both
find gold.
blocks
I lost
of gold?
both blocks of gold.
Wow.
To the fucking lava.
See, the first thing I do with gold is make a clock. That thing's useful.
No, why is that clock useful?
Because you know when you can, like, if you've been underground for like 4 days, you can know when you should come up.
Why?
Well, because you don't want to come up and it'd be nighttime, do
I
you?
just walk to the door and look out.
Well, you could do that.
Okay, so you've mined within your house. So like you start like you built a house and you like started digging your quarry or whatever inside of your house.
No. It's
Oh,
like
okay.
totally separate.
Oh,
but,
okay.
but you can put a door on it. So like you just dig, like I dug into a mountain.
Okay.
And then just put a door on it and just keep digging under there.
Okay.
Then you don't have to worry about encountering like dungeons or
One
shit
of
like
the
that.
most exciting things in Minecraft is destroying a block and being surprised by what's behind it. Like I was like trying to tunnel back up to the surface one day, and I smashed the block above my head. Water came down, and a cow and a chicken. I was like, what's going on?
No, it's also cool. Like when you're trying to dig your way out, and like all of a sudden a giant room opens up. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa, this is a cave.
Yeah, it's
I
awesome.
wonder what's in here.
The worst thing you can possibly do in that game is find diamond for the first time, try and make a diamond pickaxe, and accidentally make a diamond hoe. It's one of the worst feelings.
Yeah.
I found some diamond last night. I was
Yeah?
pretty happy with that. Some diamond and some lapis lazuli or whatever the blue one's called.
What did you make with your diamond?
Nothing.
You're
I still have it.
You're gonna be a hoarder.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what to make with it.
You gotta make,
Make
a
a diamond
pickaxe.
pickaxe.
That way you can get obsidian, and then you go to the
Basically,
nether
like,
realm.
You know, each material has a different amount of uses.
Right.
So wood is like 60
Uh-huh.
uses, and then iron is like 250. Diamond is 1,500 uses.
Hmm.
It's like boop, boop, boop. Amazingly, you can use it for a long time.
But you can make obsidian with it.
Yeah,
You can mine obsidian,
You can
right?
mine obsidian with it.
So, and you make obsidian by pouring water on lava?
water and standing lava.
It has to be a lava source block.
Source block.
Yeah, it can't be flowing. lava.
Oh,
It has
wow.
to be still lava.
Yeah. But then you get that obsidian, they make that nether portal. Then you go to the nether realm and get glow blocks.
Glowstone.
You know what? Or glowstones, whatever. You know what? Like, ever since I've now 400 to 400 at that game, like, a perfect at the game.
Yeah.
And, like, my urge to play it has just dipped significantly.
Yeah.
Like, now that I've perfected the game, I'm like,
Well, it's because you have no imagination.
yeah, pretty
That
much.
game's about what your brain can come up with.
Yeah.
There just happens to be achievements. It's really not an achievement game.
No.
Yeah, like-
but I play it for achievements.
My wife and I are working on building a subway.
Nice.
Around our world. That's why we dug into a mountain. We've dug all the way across the map in one direction. We're working on going the other direction. That's why I need gold so I can build the
Power
rail.
it. Yeah.
I just love the idea of
awesome.
a husband and wife just building together in Minecraft. This is really funny to me. Like,
Yeah, well,
having a house.
She works on the mine, and then when we find shit like ores or stuff, like I do all the branches, and I go down and I find all the
I like
shit.
it's like a job. Like you both go like.
It's like, yeah, we spent like 3 hours mining last night.
Back
We're
down
like,
the
man,
mine,
I'm really tired.
My arms are sore. My right pointer finger hurts.
It's a good game, though, right?
How
You
many
can see why-
people can you play in the Xbox
8.
version? Up to 8.
You
Wow.
can have up to 8. Like, I jumped on Twitter one night and I was like, I just wanted to play some Minecraft, and so I said like, hey, send me an invite and I'll throw you, send you in my game, and we ended up playing 8 of us.
I'm
And like
amazed.
surprisingly, we had no trolls. Like everyone was just up for playing. Like everyone was mining and helping out. And then like towards the end of the night, people like started dwindling. So it was like me and a couple other guys, and then one other dude joined in. Like some random guy just joined in and like tried to kill everyone. And then I booted him and banned him from the game.
I'm amazed there's no option though for like someone who can't destruct stuff.
Like it's like an observer or something like that.
Yeah, or someone who like just can't affect what's been pre-built.
That could be kind of cool. Like
Because usually you have that. Like, did you ever play Blockland?
like a ghost mode. No, I did
It was
not play
like that Lego
Blockland.
game for the PC. It was fun.
It's like a read-only mode.
Yeah, just so you can like build stuff, but you can't destroy the PC.
Oh, you can build still. Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Even
I mean,
you-
because
you-
it's tremendous. Having 8 people, you got 7 people there that you really have to trust.
especially if they're you.
Especially if I'm.
Yeah, you're an asshole. You told me about other stuff you used to do, fucking with your friends back
Yeah.
on the computer version.
It was great.
You're just an asshole.
Do you play Monty?
No,
Do you want to?
not really.
You don't have no interest in that.
Nah, no, it looks boring. I mean, I appreciate the fun, but
I appreciate the fun.
I got better things to do.
Yeah.
Play with blocks. Although I do like Legos. Played with Legos a lot when I was younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like a, I don't know. It reminds me a lot of Legos. Like putting different shit
no,
together.
but it seems like the variety and objectives and the just the amount of surprise is what makes it interesting, and then the level of creativity. It's like I look at Minecraft and then I think of like games like Little Big Planet. I'm like, why are people playing that less when it has more? And it goes back to like,
Well, it's a PS3 game for one thing.
well, part of it is just you give people less; they're more up to they're more up to the challenge to creating more, which is one of the things I appreciate with Minecraft. I've seen videos of people like building the Enterprise.
Well, it's
people
like
building,
it's almost like two
craziness.
different things, though. Like Little Big Planet gives you pre-made stuff that you can then use to make something.
Yeah.
Minecraft gives you blocks.
Yeah,
it's more
exactly.
Like you have
Yeah.
a more low-level control.
I mean,
over it.
there's some pretty crazy stuff made in Little Big Planet because there's a finite level of control, but the predetermined amount, I guess, kind of churns people off more, or rather, the less predetermined amount of Minecraft turns people on more, I guess.
I don't know if you ever saw it. I think we talked about it in the podcast a few years ago. But someone using Little Big Planet 2, someone made The Legend of Zelda.
Right. They make pretty insane stuff. Like, I mean, it seems like you need to know how to fucking code or something.
Well,
just to be able to-
Little Big Planet has a giant learning curve.
Yeah.
There's like 30 tutorials. So I think you don't want a tutorial to play Lego. So I think that's like,
Well,
in
it's
essence,
kind
the
of
attraction to
this
Minecraft.
whole idea of like being able to construct your own levels is not a new idea, but we're seeing a lot more. Like even like Trials Evolution. Like Jeff was playing a downloaded map yesterday. He was playing Snake. Like literally, it was like he was playing the video game Snake in Trials Evolution. I have no idea how the hell they pulled that off, but
crazy.
it was like, I mean, he was a snake and he'd get a barrel and get bigger, and like it was a 2D view and everything. It was just like, who spent time to figure that out? And I know, like, did you guys see the Portal 2 level editor thing came out?
Yeah.
Someone made a binary counter on Portal 2. So it's like there's buttons, and if you drop like something on top of the button, it'll count. It's a counter on the wall.
There's an old video where someone made they basically made a computer in Minecraft. I don't know if you ever saw that. They made like the arithmetic logic unit of a CPU,
Jesus.
where you could send like commands through it and have it do math, and it would like using redstone and wires, and it would
Good God.
return the result down
That's
the
bonkers.
line.
So you're saying does lava come out and mess up your stuff while you're playing? Like, are there just factors you can't control?
Like if
that
you
screw
dig,
up?
sometimes you might encounter lava.
Yeah.
and
Okay.
then
I
you
mean,
got to
you
like
can
plug
just-
that shit.
But
up
it's
right
not like
away.
something's gonna like destroy your castle.
Well, if
'Cause-
There's monsters at night.
Are there
lava,
really?
lava will burn through wood and stuff.
So it's like playing
Yeah, we learned
Legos
that
at
the hard way. You asshole.
reminds me of playing Legos at daycare. You guys ever go to daycare? It's just fucking big kids and
The best thing about that though was because whenever you touch a bed, whenever you use a bed, that it resets your spawn to that point. So Michael died in the lava outside the house, and then spawned inside the house on the
Yeah.
bed just in time for lava to start pouring through the ceiling.
That was actually kind of scary. It's like it's like a nightmare. You'd be trapped in a
Like-
burning house.
It's like trying to stand on the furnace, like on the bed, like oh Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know what he was trying to do. I felt like if he had initially, as soon as he spawned, if he had run for the door, he might have been able to make it.
One of the
Start
reasons
tearing through the wall.
One of the reasons I like Minecraft though is that people can do like kind of unique stuff in it. Like on the PC, there's a I think they pulled it out of the game, but there was a version, maybe 1.7, where because the terrain just auto generates kind of infinitely, it gets to the point where the terrain generation is completely broken. You get these massive rifts in the ground and stuff, and that is referred to as the Farlands in Minecraft.
The Farlands?
Yeah, and it's something like 12 million blocks out. It takes about 820 hours to walk to it. I mean, people have teleported there by using codes and stuff, but there's this one guy on YouTube who is walking to the Farlands for charities, like doing it for Child's Play charity. He's raised like 15 grand, and all he does every episode of his YouTube show is walk for 2 days in Minecraft, go to sleep, and then he's done like 150 episodes. It's really
it auto generates the terrain, and eventually it
just becomes so messed up that you can't like go any further. The guy's channel is called Kurt J Mac, and it's called Farlands or Bust. It's kind of entertaining.
I wonder
walk straight.
I wonder why it gets messed up through auto generation.
I don't know.
There may be a max value somewhere in the
Ghost in the Machine.
Yeah, no. Sometimes I think about that. Like, it's messed up by our interpretation, but the game thinks it's doing something right, which is essentially the Ghost in the Machine. Like we were talking about bit values. It's like, is this right, Gus? Hard drives aren't exactly 1 gig, 2 gig.
There's 2 different ways you can measure it.
Right. And then it's down to the bit value, and those bit values are the multiples that we were just talking about, 32, 64, and they just keep going up. See, that's the Ghost in the Machine right there. So, like, those sort of things at work create stuff that we just don't understand. Yeah. Ghost in the Machine is our human perception of this sort of thing. We try to create round numbers. We try to
make it easier for us to
understand. But I think Minecraft is doing what it thinks is right. We just look at it and we're like, this is fucked up.
Yeah.
Deep.
I think Monty is like our Ray Stance of the Ghostbusters. like he sees stuff that just no one else sees.
You brought it up. Ghost in the Machine.
Well, I said Ghost in the Machine. I didn't say bit values. So I think Gus, you must be your Egon. I don't know who else would be whoever else. Gavin could be you could be Winston.
So did he go out there and build something?
I don't know.
He's still going, right?
He's still going. Oh. He's taking a wolf with him as well, which makes it even funnier. He's never died either. He's been probably walking for like hundreds of hours at this point. I think he's like 5 or 6% of the way there.
Wow,
it's really, really far.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so the Xbox version is actually a limited space.
It's actually quite small on the Xbox, like the size of the world.
I guess so.
I mean, compared to the Infinite.
Well, yeah.
Infinity. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely constrained, but I haven't had a problem like running out of things to do, running out of things to see.
Yeah. It's always fun. Like, I mean, for the longest time, I could not find lava in my world. Like, I looked everywhere for goddamn lava, and I could not find it. And then I finally like stumbled across like a pre-built mine or whatever, and found some inside there. But now I'm like, I've got a quarry that I'm digging in, and I finally hit the point where it seems like anywhere I go, I stumble into lava now. Like I'll hit a block, and like, now it's coming down. It's like, all right, patch up that wall.
Yeah, like I keep stone blocks right next to my pickaxe because as soon as I find lava, I'm like, all right, patch it up.
Is that how you stop it? You need stone.
Yeah, I can put some stone in the way and plug it up.
But see, I also do the thing where it's like if I'm digging and I like find lava, I then try to get on top of it. I try to find the room that the lava came from. So that's exciting, and I've done that a couple times. That's how you get your obsidian. Is you pour water on top of it, and boom, you got a whole pool of obsidian.
Boom,
dude. I finally got like this nice obsidian pool, and like I was mining. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get enough to make like 4 portals, so I can go into like the Netherrealm, make another portal, and be able to travel and all that stuff. And
why do you need 4 portals?
Because you make more portals, like you go to the Netherrealm or Netherworld or whatever. Mm-hmm. Netherrealm, I think, is Mortal Kombat. You go to the Netherworld, and then you walk for a distance, and then you make another portal in there.
I think,
and then you can pop up back on the surface.
I think Mortal Kombat's Outworld.
That's right.
No, the Netherworld is the other realm.
Is that where Scorpion's from? I think.
Do that.
Yeah, Scorpion came from the Netherrealm.
But that's where Quan Chi rules.
Sure,
Shao Kahn rules the Outworld.
Yeah.
Anyway,
weren't we just talking about the Netherworld exists?
That's someone's mine that they sent to me.
That's incredibly elaborate mine.
What is it?
It's so tidy.
In Minecraft, they went down, I guess, to Bedrock. You can see Bedrock there, and made a giant shaft, and then did like.
I like it tunnels off in all directions.
Yeah, I mean I was like, holy shit, that's the way I need to be doing it.
Yeah,
I always mine diagonally. I think I find stuff more often if I go like
Diagonally?
Yeah.
Like, I've reached a point now where, like I told you, we're working on this subway. Like, I was working on a branch for so long that I've been digging around and I find other tunnels of my own.
Oh, wow.
like last night I was digging and I broke down the wall. I was like, holy shit, there's a cavern back here. And torches. And I was like, oh, it's just my own fucking thing.
No, so how wide and how tall are your tubes that you're digging for your subway? Are they 2x2 or is it
3x3.
Okay.
Wow.
Because there's also got to
Spacious.
be a line for lights for torches.
Okay.
And then
Nice.
one for walking and then one for the rail.
Well, when you make a power piece of track, you need to power that
Redstone.
with a redstone torch.
Yeah.
So that would light the thing up.
Yeah, but it's not as bright, right?
Nah, but it's cool.
Okay. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll swap it out.
Are you building for future development as well?
Yeah, I guess.
But Bernie was saying how him and his kid play on this Minecraft server that they pay for, and there's actually like remnants of stuff that's been built by people who used to have the server before them. So they'll occasionally stumble onto these like historic buildings of people who were once there, and that's kind of
Weird.
creepy.
It's the
kind-
Forerunners.
yeah, it's like Forerunners in Minecraft. It's like, who built this? Did we build this? And then it's just
I
like,
wonder, like, if there's anything like you said, almost like Forerunners. If someone built like this crazy elaborate machine,
Yeah.
that you find you don't understand how it
It's a
works in
doomsday
Minecraft.
device.
it is interesting though. Like, if a server was never turned off and people were playing on it for like 50 years, there would be history in that server. There'd be like real history.
That's like
Well,
archives.
It's like a
and stuff.
Star Trek episode, I feel like, or something.
Like, imagine like walking into a stone building in Minecraft that was built 40 years ago. It'd be kind of creepy.
Yeah.
No?
No, I think it would be. It'd be weird to see what someone else has built because people spend so much time and build so many elaborate things. Like if you came across that computer I was talking about, the arithmetic unit that someone built, you wouldn't even realize what it was. You wouldn't know how to work it. You're like, what is this shit? Redstone torches everywhere.
Go on Reddit. Be like, look what I found. What the fuck is this thing? Somebody help me.
Forerunners were so smart.
They were. It's like Total Recall. You got to start the machine and kick off the atmosphere. No one? Has anyone fucking seen Total Recall?
The ice melting
Okay.
machine, it makes
There you
atmosphere
go.
on Mars. Yeah.
Melts
I
the
wonder if
ice.
they're going to do that again in the new one.
I don't think they go to Mars.
Yeah, just get your ass to Mars. Isn't that in the trailer?
In the new one?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
so.
I didn't hear it. I just saw the kung fu. And
If they don't
was
have
like,
if they don't
this
have
movie, it looks like it sucks.
Dude, if they don't have Get Your Ass to Mars, I mean, that's...
I thought the trailer looked better than I expected.
Really?
For the
Kinda
new Total
did.
Recall
It-
movie.
It's
it
that
just-
crazy camera move.
Yeah, I was wondering
Where
about
like
that.
he
It
starts
goes
finding those
around
dudes,
and
it's
it blends
like,
back to
pull
the
it back
original.
and it's going around going in, and it's like
That
all
was
one shot.
probably entirely CG.
Yeah, it probably was. I
Yeah.
mean, there's no motion control thing.
There's
that
no
could
motion.
get around.
Then it's like eliminating the tracks for the camera would have been more work than doing it entirely in CG.
But doesn't he just wakes up and he starts doing martial arts and like shooting everybody and he's like super good size. It's like I've seen that movie like a billion times.
Yeah, and they made it back when they made Total Recall.
Yeah,
No,
Total Recall.
Total Recall's different. He wasn't like this. He wasn't a martial arts expert. He wasn't like
Well, because it was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He
Yeah,
just like he
Arnold.
just beat the shit out of guys.
'Cause it was
and then he
Arnold
could use a
Schwarzenegger.
gun. It's not like he was this super ninja warrior.
It's not like it
Like, it's not
unlocked
like-
his. It's not like the Matrix. I know kung fu.
Yeah, or like the Bourne movie? What was that Liam Neeson movie?
Taken?
Wasn't there a movie?
No, you're thinking about the other one where he forgets he's in the car crash. Is that the one you're thinking about?
There's also the guy who's like a priest and people can't. I, don't
think
know.
you're-
It's just there's a
I
bunch
think
of
it's-
it's convention. It's just like
I think it's a convention that's so common that it's hard not to do.
It's like a genre of itself.
Yeah. So, they'll do it.
did you guys see the Avengers? Yeah.
Fuck yes. I've seen it 3 times, actually.
I have yet to see
I
it.
still haven't seen
So
it.
this doesn't spoil anything because I mean you obviously know the characters, but it's
that
really
means it's going to
funny.
spoil something.
Yeah.
Because there's this great part where you have like Thor, Iron Man, and
Captain America,
Hulk.
Iron... Okay.
And they're all like doing all this crazy stuff. They're in the air. They're like kicking ass. And then on the ground, you have like the humans who are just kind of like running around, being like, "Man, we really got to get up there. Does anybody know how?" And they end up helping like 1 or 2 people at a time, while the other guys are helping like
Yeah, that would be a lot.
hordes of people. Like,
Gavin has brought this up twice about the imbalance of power in Avengers. Not to talk about things
in
we
the
brought up
podcast?
in
I
the
was just
podcast.
asking questions.
No, no,
I've
no.
never seen
No, this is
any of the. I've only seen Iron Man.
This is a topic that comes to me very frequently because I make movies about superpowered people.
Yeah.
Where it's like there's an imbalance and people try to balance it out. I often say that life isn't like a trading card. There's no power levels. There's no, energy projection you can measure up. Dead is dead if it's by a knife or it's by a gun.
Yeah.
So like, this is why I think Batman is the best superhero. Because he like,
Well, because he's got no powers.
no, it's more like this. If you look at human evolution, the value of humans is based on we don't have teeth, we don't have claws, we don't have these crazy powers and stuff. Human evolution is based on ingenuity, and that's why Batman is the best superhero of all, because his best power is the ability to adapt. So, like, we make these movies about these crazy superheroes and shit like that, but at the end of the day, people are the most important thing.
Yeah.
So, like, these comparisons are just kind of, like, childish to me.
Here's my issue with Batman. Technically, he has no superpower, but when you say superpowers, it's somebody who can do something that no one else can't. He has this ability, and that makes him special.
Right.
No one has $1 billion. Like, Batman's like the richest person. He can afford things that no one else could have, so he's smart. But he also has, like, a bat plane.
I guess.
So, like, in those ways, he is as much a superhero in terms of how he could fight other people as any other.
There are times when Batman is in a situation where he has none of his stuff and he's able to adapt. I think the thing I'm trying to point out more is just the metaphor for, like, human ability, that humans are the human mind's like the most powerful thing in the universe, based on if you don't account for time and death, and there's these sort of things that supposedly supposed to transcend that sort of thing, but again, we're talking about comic book movies, so...
How dumb do you think we are compared to us, how we will be in 200,000 years? Do you think we would evolve?
You think we'll still be here in 200,000 years?
What, you mean humans?
Yes.
Maybe.
Haven't you seen AI?
I think humans have been around like 0.1 or 0.4% of the time as dinosaurs. Isn't that insane?
It's less than that.
What?
There's another stat that's like something, and I'm going to get it wrong.
Well,
but it's something like more time passed between when the Stegosaurus was alive and the Tyrannosaurus Rex than between the Tyrannosaurus Rex and now.
Well, like dinosaurs around a long time compared to us.
Well,
right. Humans, as we know them, have only been around like 200,000 years, right? And the planet is like 4 billion years old.
Yeah.
So we're like a tiny, stupid little blip of time. That's probably going to like go out just as fast as it came in.
Probably.
I mean, that's why. Yeah,
that's why you're convinced that the end of the world's going to come like by human hand.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, but I don't think it'll be like Lex Luthor destroying the world. I think it's just going to be like it'd be like the Great Depression times 10. Things will just really suck.
No, there's been
civilization will devolve.
There's been some mentalists in history, absolute freaking lunatics. There'll be one crazy turd who just goes mental.
Crazy turd who goes mental.
Who just lights the atmosphere on fire. Doesn't matter.
I think it'll be something else. Like there'll be a natural disaster. That's the way I think about it.
Think about it.
Or a natural it could trigger a series of other events.
Well, there could be a natural disaster that causes electricity to go out, which causes people to die,
and then causes a guy to launch a nuke. It's like it all comes down to the nukes.
If the Earth has been around for 4 billion years and it's still around, what are the chances that a natural disaster will come and wipe out?
A natural disaster won't kill the Earth; it'll just kill us.
Yeah.
The Earth will still continue to go. The Earth's not going to go away. It's something that we're not going to be able to adapt to.
So you think there's going to be a disaster that will kill every human being?
It'll kill most human beings to the point where...
Well, that's not extinction, though, so we'll survive.
Let me fucking finish. It'll kill most human beings to the point where we're not going to be sustainable.
Well, a meteor...
Like, there won't be one giant disaster that kills everyone at once.
Yeah, but
there'll be a lot of people who die.
As long as you have some humans, you can return to what you were.
Yeah, assuming they can learn how to survive.
But, like, a meteor didn't hit every single dinosaur in the head. It crashed. It crashed and changed the environment.
Do we even know that that's the thing that did him?
Yes.
That's the commonly accepted theory.
What do you look for?
Or there was one crazy dinosaur that's just crazy turd.
You went nuts. You went crazy turd.
Yeah, but all the dinosaurs weren't wiped out, were they?
They had
Some of them evolved.
They survived.
What is it? Birds?
Yeah, but dinosaurs that we know of no longer exist. So
did we recently find out that dinosaurs have feathers and they actually look really lame?
The Velociraptor in
they were like all like
the Velociraptor in Jurassic Park was very fat.
And there was that dinosaur that was actually a combination of two dinosaurs that died on top of each other that were like built into a
It was like a Megasaurus.
It was a Brontosaurus.
Well, the Brontosaurus, it wasn't a real dinosaur. It just had a skull of a different...
Something like that.
That's stupid. Like, how does...
So fucking dumb.
Well, I mean... We just take that for granted what dinosaurs look like. Someone had to once just find a pile of bones and be like, Jesus. What the fuck is this? The most complicated jigsaw ever.
He's playing Minecraft. He was digging for gold.
Lava came in. He's like, oh.
Shit. All right, bones. I'm going to...
That's a good point. I can't imagine being that guy who finds those bones for the first time.
Yeah.
Dragon.
Just knowing, like, people there were humans who didn't know that there were dinosaur like beings that were extinct. Like, just the idea of having something that once lived and is literally there are none left is kind of like a fascinating discovery in itself. Like, he would find a dinosaur bone and be like, there's none of these anymore. It's kind of amazing.
And also, how the fuck have we never found these before? Like, why am I the first person finding this?
When was the first like skeleton found? Does anyone?
Dinosaur skeleton?
Yeah, dinosaur skeleton.
It's in the mid 1800s, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, they must have found them before that and just not knowing what the hell they were. People
Or
just-
like Monty was saying, attribute them to mythical creatures.
No, I mean, I imagine
Yeah.
the first person to actually discover a dinosaur bone just dismissed it as a bone, just like, oh, fucking, just keep mining.
Where's the dog? Man. Were you ever into dinosaurs when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Some Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
I had a lunchbox.
It shocks me that Jurassic Park was when you were a kid.
So the first,
Was it 94?
the first dinosaur to
I think
be
so,
described
95.
scientifically was named in 1824.
Okay.
But bones had been found, I guess, in the 1600s, but no one knew what it was.
Yeah,
Of course.
that makes
Wow.
sense.
It's like
Yeah, I think I was 6 when Jurassic Park came out.
I was 10, I think. That was a while
That's a
ago.
great movie. That was Jurassic Park was the movie that made me want to make movies.
Yeah?
Yeah, like I saw that. I was in the theater. I was like, I want to do this, and like I ended up watching that movie like 10 times in the theater over the course of like 2 weekends.
Does every kid have a fascination with dinosaurs when they're young?
I think so.
Who said no? You
I did
didn't?
not. I like Jurassic Park.
It's weird. I feel like every person
I read about.
or
Like,
every
I
kid
enjoy
was
like
was
reading
really
about it.
into
I was just
dinosaurs.
never like that dinosaur kid.
No, my
Is
girlfriend,
this-
my girlfriend's kid loves dinosaurs, man.
Yeah.
It's like the easiest way to get him to calm down. Like, here's a dinosaur. Ooh, sweet.
There's a shot in that movie where the camera's looking down. It's when they're like right at the end, they're climbing up through the ceiling and stuff, and like I think one of the dinosaurs is like punching through into the ceiling, and the girl falls, and the camera's looking down at her.
Yeah.
She falls. It's like an amazing stunt. She's like hanging from it, but she looks up and you can see her face.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's the actual actor or whether they put her face on a stunt.
I know that shot, and that's actually replaced actress. Like they replaced the stunt woman's face with the actress.
That I was wondering how they did that because
Yeah.
it was like, how do they get her to do that stunt?
Yeah, because I was like Jurassic Park was right around the end of sort of like the shows on Discovery, or it was like movie magic and like behind the scenes, the stuff that is now in bonus features of DVDs that no one watches except for Monty.
That's right.
Like all that stuff used to be on TV, and I used to love that stuff. I used to watch like all the behind the scenes, like makeup effects, and like Terminator 2. They had like 300 different TV shows showing how they did this stuff.
Wow.
Spielberg says that there are only half as many effects in Jurassic Park as you think there are, because he finds a way to shoot it that makes you think there are more effects than really are. It's very smart filmmaking.
Yeah, everything looks good in that movie. Like even the CG looks really good.
Yeah,
There was a
that
land-
movie holds up.
Holds up very well. That was one of, I think, if you've watched the Pixar story, it's one of Pixar's first endeavors under, I guess, Industrial Light and Magic back then. But I mean, before Pixar became their own company, this, with I think it was done with the Pixar computers.
Wait, Pixar.
They worked on the effects to a point where I can't remember exactly, but back when Pixar was trying to become a company on their own and Steve Jobs was funding them, I think they started up the God, I can't remember exactly the digital division of Industrial Light and Magic to do the effects for Jurassic Park. I have to
Really?
look this stuff
Well,
up.
Pixar used to be owned by Lucas.
Yeah,
That's
Lucas
right.
sold it off.
Yeah. But this was before it was called Pixar. It was just the Pixar computer. The only reason Pixar is named Pixar because of the Pixar computer that they
Right.
developed.
Okay, yeah.
No, I have to look it up. Or
Yeah, I don't think Pixar actually worked on
No,
Jurassic.
Pixar didn't exist at the time. It was like Industrial Light and Magic or Lucasfilm or something like that.
There's this amazing moment in Jurassic Park, looking back on it. And you notice this convention all the time now. So all the power was out in this park. The
Yes.
dinosaurs are running amok.
Hold on to your butts.
And then there's only like 15 minutes left in the movie, and they're like, holy shit, what are we going to do here? We made this awesome movie, but like, how do we clean all this up? And this like 15-year-old girl sits down at a computer, and there's that great line.
Unix system.
It's a Unix system.
I know this.
I know this.
Yeah.
Fix this movie, and it's done. And then now, like, you see the convention used all the time. Like, it's just like this. It feels like this scapegoat in cinema. It's like the modern day. How do you pronounce it? Deus Ex Machina.
Deus Ex.
Deus Ex Machina. It's amazing. It's just like, I'm not gonna be clever. I'm not gonna wrap this up. All right, here's a guy, and he could do something that's extremely impossible.
It's like the guy in a plane disaster movie who sits in the cockpit and goes, I played Flight Simulator, I can do this. He lands the plane.
That was Snakes on a Plane, by the
Yeah,
way.
Keenan.
Good God, man. No, I mean, Jurassic Park, like, that movie, for some reason, that movie's just, like, so much is right about that movie. Like,
Except for the ending, apparently.
no, the ending's great.
It's just like I feel like it's a landmark moment. Like it should be chronicled in movie history.
Did you read the book before you saw the movie?
No. I read the book afterwards.
I remember
I know this.
when in the school I went to, we read the book first before we saw the movie. Everyone felt like the book was better, but there's stuff in that book, it's just not filmable in terms of the
Yeah.
movie.
And the book, like, the kids were flipped. Like, the boy was older and the girl was younger.
And the old man dies in the book.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
He was also, like, kind of a bad character. in
He was
the
also
book.
not as like
Yeah.
Santa Claus-ish,
And there was, like,
Not as redeemable.
There was, like, a
sympathetic.
pterodactyl, like, atrium and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
I
There was
forgot
all-
about that.
Like, and they actually incorporated a bunch of that stuff into 3. Like, I think there were 2 T-Rexes in the book. And there was a whole scene where, like, they were hiding behind a waterfall, and, like, the T-Rex tongue came out and was trying to find them. And I think that ended up being in 3. Or 2.
Three was such a bad movie.
But
The old man was so great in the first one. There's that shot at the end when they're leaving and he's just staring at the mosquito stuck in the sap in his cane, and it's just watching his whole life's work just going down the drain. It's the saddest
What
thing.
actually
I don't care
caused-
who died. I was like, I feel so bad for
What
this
was
guy.
the actual science behind what went wrong? Is it like to do with they
The-
took genes from a frog?
The
that
genes
could
from the
mate
frog
with itself or something?
Well, no,
like
the frogs that are known to change sex
Okay.
based on need in an environment.
that? So they were mating.
So, like, some of the female dinosaurs became male.
I want
apparently.
to bitch about something now.
Let's do it.
They grew some knobs.
Living living in America is like buying anything in America is too annoying. Like
Go on.
every price is like a really odd. Like we bought Max Payne today. It was $59.96. That's an
Okay.
annoying price for a start. Also, they add tax at the checkout.
Yeah.
Why?
Because in the UK they have a VAT, which is common across
Well,
the entire
like,
country.
I buy something in the UK, I know what I'm going to spend. I know if I have enough money in my wallet. Yeah, I can afford this. You go to buy something here, it's like, oh, it's actually like
I think,
$5.
but there's 2 reasons. One, tax is different depending on where you are. It can even vary city by city.
Yeah, but the store doesn't move.
2, because they make it seem like it's a lower price. Like it's the same
Yeah,
price
you
everywhere.
visibly look at it and you say it's a 5, not a 6.
But it costs more
You know.
money if you require each GameStop to spend the time to list prices differently. It has to be different in all the computers. It's easier to just say across the board in this country, this is how much it costs, and then each store just applies whatever local.
But I
tax.
never know how much anything's going to be.
What do you
Is
mean
that
you don't know?
annoying?
It's going to be like it's 8%.
Just assume it's 8%. Just assume you're paying 10% more on top of it.
No, Gavin's right in a way because you just stop thinking about it. You know what? You see the number and it's a 5 instead of a 6. I mean, it's annoying, but you just live with it.
Yeah, but I assume you pay with a card. Do you pay cash? If you pay cash, yeah, it could be a pain in the ass. But if you pay with a card, what the fuck? does
Yeah,
it matter?
when you pay with a card, you're just like, it's
Yeah.
just this and some change.
I had a lot of
You-
cash left over, so I was using it up.
But something that's like $39.95 doesn't turn into $90. And
No,
we're
but
talking
it
about
turns
like
into some-
it's
It's gonna be like less than 44.
But it's still it's an annoying amount. Nothing is a round number here. I want a game to be $60. I want to hand over $60.
Ghost in the Machine.
And then you have to tip for everything as well.
You did not tip at the GameStop. I
I
guarantee
didn't tip
you.
for that. But like
Tip.
I get a coffee. Like the coffee shop near where I live, they hand you a cup. You then go and get the coffee and put the milk in, right? Mm-hmm. Why do I have to tip for being handed a cup?
Then don't do it. The tip jar might be there for people who get like specially made drinks, like something that the barista has to make, versus just pouring some fucking drip coffee.
Yeah, but they look at you. They look at you like you're a scum.
who
if you don't
cares?
tip.
They're working at a fucking coffee shop. Spit on them.
Jesus.
I'm totally kidding. First thing I need to know is find out if those people listen to the podcast.
Spitting in your
Like, spitting, huh?
Hi, Mr. Sorolla.
calling them less than human. Throwing them a steak.
South Park Meadows Starbucks.
Yeah.
But have you noticed how much gas costs?
No, I don't have a car.
Because it's like it'll be $3.99, but it's not $3.99. It's $3.99 and 9/10 of a cent.
What?
Yeah, there's a 9/10 at the end of the price of gas.
Oh my
Why
god!
is that?
Oh my god!
Because it's the closest they can be without charging you another cent.
But nothing else does that. Why does
But
gas
there's no
do
currency
that?
there for that.
Right. Why?
Well, so they round it up?
Because like people will look, they'll see there are 3 gas stations here. Which one is cheaper? And if it's 1 cent cheaper, they'll go to that one.
But I'm asking, like, why is it that only gas that does
Maybe
that?
because it's
what I'm
fluid.
asking.
Like, I mean,
No, why not milk then or water?
well, I mean, I don't know, because that comes in that comes in predetermined amounts. Whereas, like, if you're gassing up something, like that extra decimal place on the dollar amounts could actually, you could save a cent or lose a cent based on that. So
But
it
why
gives
does
it more.
round it up to the cent. I don't.
Yeah.
There's something going
Because
on
if you
here.
round it up, then it doesn't seem as cheap as it actually as you want it to. Like
with a combination
but see, I could see why they do that with with physical goods, like a game, right? Like $59.99 or whatever. With gas, like why don't they just make it $3.99? Because gas is never $3.99. Gas is always fluctuating, so that the cent always changes every day. Throughout the day, it's changing.
I think it would be like that though if there was like a GameStop and a Best Buy and whatever, and they were all like outdoor shacks, and you could just walk from one to the other and be like, okay, it costs this much here, this much here. But it's not. You're already committed if you're in a store. Whereas in the gas station, people just drive and they just look which number is the smallest. So, it's just
do you drive to gas stations for a cheaper price?
No,
you just go to the one
closest?
I
go to the most convenient one possible.
That is the correct way to do it. My dad used to
people they'll go to websites and they'll look for the.
Well, surely you'll spend more getting to a cheap one.
Yeah, so my father used to drive around until he found the cheaper gas. And it's like, come on, it's like 3 cents cheaper.
I feel like you end up just wasting your time and more gas.
Yeah. So a combination of having to tip for pretty much everything, not actually knowing the price until you get to the checkout, and the fact that I don't know this currency at all. Every transaction to me is like I'm like buying a hotel.
Wait, how do you not know the currency at all?
I'm not used to it. I don't know how much stuff should be in dollars.
Okay, so general idea.
So like every purchase is like it's like Monopoly money. It's like a joke. It's like sure.
How much does a game cost? How much does an Xbox 360 game cost in the UK?
$39.99.
So it's like $80 here, basically. So it's actually cheaper here. So you should be happy about that. Stop your bitching.
Okay, so the answer I found here, I don't know if I believe it. This is on answers.com. For whatever that's worth, I just did a Google search and this is what came up. Is I guess since people used to buy gas in what they're saying is like the 20s and 30s, that back then gas was 8 cents a gallon. So a penny was actually a big difference, a big jump. So they would sell gas by 1/10 of a cent increments.
Wow.
That's how they would change the price. And it's just something that's stuck with us since then.
Huh.
So that's their answer. I don't know if I believe it.
So theoretically, we could see it vanish. Like it's just a remnant.
Apparently, the state of Iowa abolished it, but then they brought it back. I don't know why.
Huh.
So it's just some stupid-ass tradition.
Interesting.
Because people didn't want to pay 9 cents for gas instead of 8.
Yeah, life.
So how are you adjusting to the U.S., Gavin?
Yeah, it's okay. It's pretty easy.
Still living in Jeff's garage?
No. We moved into a bigger house.
Oh, okay.
Monty, you gotta start talking faster, bro.
like everyone stops and is
like I imagine like if I was listening to this podcast, I would imagine like Monty in a bed with like the microphone up to his face.
You know what you can do on an iPhone when you listen to a podcast? There's the option for 2 times and half speed. We should 2 times Monty and see if it's up to regular speed.
Like, should we all start talking slower to match his pace?
You do that, and all of a sudden you start hearing messages.
It's like, what? I suddenly want to buy some Nike shoes.
Hey, Jack.
Hi, Gavin.
Are you going to get a car?
I will at some point. Yeah.
Do you want me to? You don't have a license in the UK, do you?
No. I didn't need one.
When are you going driver's ed?
I don't know.
We need to find out if I can come in.
Can we film that
in the back?
I don't think it'll be very exciting.
That's going to suck.
Why?
I don't know. Driver's ed just sucks.
You know what we should do before driver's ed? There's a new go-kart track in Austin. It's like professional go-karts.
Oh,
that you can
go-karts
rent.
are awesome.
It's like I think K1speed.com.
Where is that?
It's I think it's in North Austin
What
somewhere.
are professional go-karts?
Well, like there's not like
I know go-karts.
well, there's like go-karts.
I've driven a go-kart.
They're like the ones
Is it 40 or 60?
I don't know if they go that fast, but they go. The cool thing about this track is you can have multiple people on the same track. Like if you remember like Malibu Grand Prix back in the day, it was like only one person at a time. This one is like you can have like 8 people going.
So it's like Mario Kart.
Yeah, exactly.
We need to combine like that and like paint guns or something so we can make it like Mario Kart.
I'm anti go-kart.
What?
Because I read a story about this kid who was in a really fast one. He went off the road, flipped it, landed upside down on his head, and he suffered an internal decapitation. Which is
What does that mean?
Which is where your skull comes off the top of your spine. His head came off, but it was still held on his neck
the skin?
by the skin and the muscle and the tissue. All his pipes were still connected, but his head came off in his skin. He could still he lived, and he was completely paralyzed. And I think in the surgery they reattached it, and he got everything back.
No,
Yes.
that's a bullshit story. That's
I think that actually happened. I remember thinking when I read it. I remember thinking.
Bullshit. Find me this fucking
remember
story.
thinking-
Find me this internal decapitation where they put his head back on and he fucking moves again.
Yeah.
No, bullshit.
It's like with nerves.
This isn't Star Trek.
I have to agree with Gus on this one.
I
It's
remember
bullshit.
thinking at the time when I read it, that can't be true. But I think it was true.
No, bullshit. Find me the story. I refuse to believe
He
this.
found it on answers.com.
But imagine that happening to you, where your head has come off, but you're still alive, and you're just like, what would you can't move anything. That'd be the worst thing.
So that's why you don't race go-karts.
I don't want to knock my head off.
So could you imagine being conscious for a few seconds after your head's chopped off?
I
Like a
think you'd be
guillotine?
conscious for more than a few seconds.
You think so?
I thought it was like 10 seconds or something like that.
What would they know
causes you?
that?
I don't
What
know.
causes you to go unconscious?
There was an experiment done back in the 1700s.
guy
I want to say
blinked,
in
right?
France, right,
Yeah.
where he was going to be decapitated, and he said that when his head got cut off, he would blink as long as he could to show that he was still alive. And
Yeah.
he went for almost a minute, I think.
A minute. What was
Right?
keeping him alive?
That's nuts.
It's like residual oxygen in his brain, I guess.
But we were talking about this the other day. I thought that oxygen moves pretty fast through the body.
I'll look it up.
I was
Answers.com.
I was telling Gus that you can.
Well, I guess like your heart can stop for a little bit,
You can-
and then it can get started up, and
you
you're
can
still okay.
slow your heart down a lot by not breathing as well.
I didn't know this until you told me
Have
yesterday.
did you try it?
No, I didn't.
If you put your hand on your heart and listen to your heartbeat, and then just hold your breath for as long as you can, your heart will slow down to the point where it's actually scary.
Well, that's what like the
how few
deep.
times.
That's like the deep sea divers
Yeah.
do. Like the guys who hold their breath and go
Yeah.
underwater. For
They
like
just go into
500
some
feet.
sort of odd, sort of sub-level trance that they're.
Well,
alive,
they
then-
hyperventilate themselves, so they're like sucking a lot of air and breathing out, and then do
Once
that.
they like over-oxygenate themselves
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
just
yeah.
stop.
And
Yeah, that
they
makes
stop,
sense.
and
It's
then-
amazing what you can do without any equipment.
body hacks.
Wasn't it discovered that we originally either came from or are heading back to the ocean due to those discoveries?
What do you mean?
That the body could do like amazing things in terms of like
There are some people who can do really weird stuff underwater. There's a guy who
Underwater
he
stuff.
walks the surface of the ocean with a spear, just spearing fish. He can be down there for like 5-10 minutes.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Human
Does
beings
his head
are
come
so
off?
unnatural in water, man.
It's just like
I can't
training your
imagine
brain
it.
to not panic because usually panic, in some situations, panic is like a natural reaction to something, but it really doesn't help you anyway. Like panicking because you think you're drowning will just make you drown really fast.
Yeah.
If you just relax, you'll just be fine.
Speaking of water, how many times have you been to Schlitterbahn already?
Has it opened yet?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
what is this?
Oh, really? I thought they didn't really kick off till Memorial Day.
No, it's open on weekends right now, and then like starting Memorial Day. So Schlitterbahn is a water theme park in just south of Austin.
It's in New Braunfels.
And Brandon, how many times did you go last summer?
Probably went about 7 times.
7 times.
I got a season. My girlfriend and I got season passes. So it's like,
How much
hey,
is
we
one
have
of
a
those?
free half day, and it's just like 30 minutes away. So we just drove down, spent a half day.
How
there,
much
and
does
came
that
back.
cost, the season pass?
It depends when you buy them. It probably if you buy during the year, like $200.
Dude, I wonder
But
if we
it's
could
like you can bring your own food. You can bring your own liquor.
well, you're not supposed to, but
They don't care.
You can sneak it in. But so what do we have to do to get Schlitterbahn to like just give us a
Not
bunch of
even
annual
sneaking, you
passes?
just-
Hey, Schlitterbahn.
No, don't they tell you can do it?
They just bring in
Yeah,
your own bottles.
You can bring your own cooler. And
Yeah. So you just bring like a bottle, like a Coke or
Sounds like the worst idea ever. Bottles in a place like that.
plastic.
plastic bottles.
Oh, okay.
Dumbass.
I was walking around drinking tonic water or something out of a tonic bottle. And they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
It's a good
Maybe,
time.
maybe you like the taste of tonic water.
Yeah.
This podcast sponsored by
Schlitterbahn.
Schlitterbahn. How's Coast Time in Texas? Schlitterbahn.com.
Do they still use that?
Fuck yeah. You haven't seen that commercial?
Like, I guess I haven't seen one in a while. I don't know sure if they still use
So
that.
anyone at Schlitterbahn is listening, we would love to go to Schlitterbahn. Feel free to send us some tickets.
So a bunch of us went to Schlitterbahn last year, and it was at the end of the day, and Seb and I just wanted to chill out.
Oh, you went with Seb? Was it
Yeah,
Seb?
yeah. It was like a bunch of us went last year. Jackie came, I think.
Yeah,
on the
there's
same
there's
trip.
actually a photo in my profile of all of us who went, or most
like-
of us who went.
Seb and I just went on like this river, and we were just like lying back, and we're just like floating. And then Miles and Carrie were there with these 2 girls on dates. Like it's like the only reason they came is because the girls wanted to come, and they all went, I think, with Jack to a ride.
Yeah.
And they were in line for an hour, and they were just thinking like, oh, like Brandon and Seb are just kind of chilling out and not doing anything, and they're waiting in this line. So they left the girls in line and came to hang out with us.
Yeah.
It was the dumb.
And
So the date went well.
That was rough.
And then afterwards, they're like, I don't understand why she's mad. It's like,
Oh my god.
you're an
is
idiot.
this Miles' current girlfriend?
Who can tell?
All right. Well, let's wrap things up.
Probably want to cut all of that.
No, that's awesome.
All right.
I'll keep it. All right. Well,
all right. Diablo 3, Max Payne 3 this week.
Minecraft.
Minecraft.
Food.